Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to have a chat with Sophie today, who just graduated from Prosperity Posse. And Sophie, you absolutely rocked it. I cannot believe how big you played and, getting your first launch together already at $5,000. It could be as much as 10 closing this week. And so I'd love to just chat about your experience and ask you some questions. And so the women that are watching this right now are considering Prosperity Posse. They may be a little scared. It may be like, oh, can I actually do this? So I'd love for you to share about your experience and what it was like for you in the course. And I just absolutely loved the class that just went through. You guys every single one of you, 100% success rate. So amazing. And so if you could take us into what was the experience where you were before Prosperity Posse? Where were you at with your business, and what did you feel stuck with, or where did you feel resistance?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I didn't even really know exactly how to bring my business to life before I worked with you. So I always knew I wanted to step into the space of being a coach, and I knew I was meant to help people, and I wanted to have this creative expression, and I had the pieces, but I didn't have the structure. So when I went with you and went through the program, you really made it easy and laid out the ways on which I can actually build. So creating that foundation that was lacking.
Mm.
And I'm working full time. I know that this is something I will be doing full time transitioning to, but you made it in such an easy process, such an easy way for me to actually take those steps and build.
Mm-hmm. And so I remember talking with you on our first intro call, and it was just like, I don't know, I think I want to do maybe this MLM thing, but I'm not really sure. There was a lot of confusion in your space to just press the go button and run for it. And so what was that space like of just being not really sure and not really totally certain that this is what you wanted to do?
Yeah, definitely. So I was a coach with Beachbody, and I was trying to fit my brand into a pre-existing, preconceived format and formula, because I thought that that was maybe the easier thing to do, and there was a foundation already and a structure and a system, and it felt scary. It felt unmanageable. It felt just uncomfortable for me to try and fathom how could I create my own brand based off of just me. How can I? And you helped me understand that I had so much more to offer that didn't include what fell under the umbrella of Beachbody. And it really truly wasn't my soul's calling. It wasn't what was truly lighting me up and turning me on, which is more the mindset and the mentality that women need to have to fully empower themselves. So that's now what I've created for myself with Tune In to Turn On, and my program launches June 14th, and 5 girls at $1,000 per girl, $1,000 per girl, which is absolutely wild. And and hoping, and I potentially even more, 5 more. So it could be
Mm-hmm.
$10,000 launch. We'll see.
Dang, woman. So your first time ever putting anything together, on our first one-on-one together, we mapped out your entire signature process for Tune In to Turn On. You had so much already because you're so into this stuff and you've been studying it for a while, but actually putting a structure to it and putting together a launch format. So, okay, I'm going to take this many people. This is what we're going to work on. I just loved seeing you hit the ground and just do it. Follow this, in Prosperity Posse, we have the slow sales process. You followed it to a T. You had the result. You were closing people. And now here you are with your first ever program, Tune In to Turn On, launching just a couple weeks away. You have 5,000 sold, and you know for sure you have 5 more that you could close. And so this could potentially be your first $10,000 launch as it stands right now, your first $5,000 launch. That is insane for your first program. So what would you say about owning your value and charging $1,000 per person for the first time? Who did you have to be to believe that? And how did this course help in that process?
Yeah, absolutely. That is a huge mindset shift. And that happens when you feel supported and someone else sees your brilliance and your brightness and your power and your potential before you do. So what this course gives you is a container where you can vibe off of one another, women that are going through the program that are either ahead of you or before you or what have you. You're learning from everyone. And then as you lead, we're able to really just accomplish that feeling of being capable to not only just do it, but to really thrive. Because
Mm-hmm.
after all, you are the culmination of the 5 people you surround yourself with, and most of us are wanting to up level our lives. And this really just gives that space where you can up level yourself, learn from other people, be coached by someone who's already done what you're doing. Yeah.
Thank you for saying all that. That's really all the pieces that somebody needs to be successful. Because I remember our first call when you were just kind of like testing the water to see if this is what you're going to do. And I called it out. I was like, you're going to be bored in that MLM because you have a greater message. And I could see it. I could see who you were being in your life. I could see how devoted you were to the personal development path and the spiritual path and living a different life and creating your own reality. And I was like, women are going to want this. Sophie, you are magnetic. You are like, there's so much about you that women want. And so then we co-create this vision, and now it's here. It's come to life. Like, what does that feel like to have your vision come to life?
It's an amazing feeling. It's amazing. There's a lot of emotions that come with it. It's incredible. I know that this is just the beginning. So I feel very lucky and grateful that I just said yes.
Mm-hmm. And then was there anything in particular, like any particular modules or my coaching style that really stuck out to you that you felt like you were able to learn from?
Yes, I would say definitely the slow sales process. So the 2 calls, the initial call, really taking your time with that and using it as marketing research too. So being able to pull and learn and understand from the market before you're committed to a specific product or program. And so I'd say those 2 processes really just helped make this tangible, because at the end of the day, it is creating something from our imaginations into a real program or product. And that's what seems, I think, daunting and confusing. And, a little caveat to all of this is I'm so type A, like I want to know, I want to have everything. And it's kind of surrendering into the fact that you've been there and done that. And there's other women that are going through the process at the same time too as well. So it gives you just that support factor and that ability to let go of that need to feel like you have to have everything make sense right away and just go through the process and trust. But the other side to the coin is you have to work hard. You have to really want it. And I really wanted it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some exercises. I mean, when it's market research week, 15 to 30 calls, and you nailed it getting people on the phone. And what I really love, you mentioned the slow sale process. So it's all about slowing it down and building a connection so that when you say, $1,000 for 6 weeks, that somebody's not shocked. They already know the value. They already want what you have. And so it's not falling on deaf ears. When you pitch somebody, you're doing it inside of a space where that person already wants you and they're interested. So,
And I'll also say too, your weekly productivity template, I love that. And that's something I'm incorporating and tweaking and pulling into my own program, because you truly have to be fully supporting yourself to be able to hold a space for others, or to be able to do anything that you want in this world, right? It's to really power up and power down your days. So that was an amazing addition, along with just the energetic work. It's all energy. Everything is energy. You have to be filling up your cup first, right? So those were huge ads.
Mm-hmm. And, what would you say about like my teaching style and who I am as a coach? Like, do you feel like that resonated with you the way that I show up, where it's like lots of the masculine structure, but also like a huge desire to live in the feminine in business and understand that this is a spiritual journey and it's all energetic? So what would you say about my teaching style for somebody who's curious about that?
Yeah, someone who's not afraid to just stand in who they are and their brilliance and own it, and someone who is essentially like a boss bitch, if I can just say that.
Boss bitch, present.
And owning that power back, right? It's almost like a term of endearment now. It's like, wow, to really step as a female in your power and create your life and really not only sit at the table, but have a voice at the table. It's like, that's the type of female that you attract. And those are the types of females that are going to be able to take the reins of their life and just go after and create.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. So appreciate it. It really feels good. It feels so, you can imagine being in my position, but having so many women like crush it and thrive based on the systems that were just like what I learned along the way. It feels so amazing. It's like dreams coming to life. It feels unbelievable. I dreamed about this day that I would be having results like this and that women would be really crushing it. And you make me look good, Sophie. You really do, because you did the work and you're already like a really smart, potent, powerful woman coming into this. And you just followed a structure. And it was just like, can't even imagine to see what you're going to create next if your first launch is between $5,000 to $10,000. My first launch I was like so excited for was 1,200, years ago, 4 years ago now, but you're just hitting the ground running right out the gate. And so the last thing here is for the woman who's watching, who's like, okay, like I want Prosperity Posse, but it still feels scary. Like, what would you say to the woman who's still considering if this is right for her?
Sure. To listen to your deepest desire to jump and the net will appear. And that's with everything in life, right? You have to find your edge and play in that space. And if you want to stay safe and if you don't want anything to change, then don't go for it. But if you feel that within, then listen and just do it.
I love it so much. Just do it. That's the same thing that Amy and Mikkel just said on the testimonials. They're like, I don't know what else to say, but just pull out your credit card and do it. And so thank you so much, Sophie. Thank you for rocking it. And like, this is such a ripple effect, because now you're going to go empower women that will empower women. It's just like all this stuff means the world to me. It's truly my art. I love doing this. Thank you so much.
Thank you.